Chase Daniel, look who's becoming an analyst. I love this. Chase Daniel, I'll give you the backstory. I think it's 14 years in the NFL and a two-time Heisman Trophy candidate at Missouri. And he hosts the Chase Daniel Show. You'll find that on YouTube. How's it been? What's the reaction so far?
It's been good. I'm still trying to find my way a little bit, but, appearing on NFL Total Access on Fridays. And I decided, hey, we also have a podcast with Trey Wingo called Chasing It. We just had Travis Kelce on. The episode blew up. So we just continue to keep getting guests and just trying to find my way. But this Chase Daniel Show on YouTube, it's interesting because it's just a quarterback breakdown. And I try to pick a few guys every week, maybe 4 or 5 guys, and really go in from an aspect of like what I was for 14 years. I was just in the room and it was like day after game film, the good, the bad, the ugly. I don't care. Like, I'm just going to say how it is. Like, I'm just going to break it down, and I'm actually able to illustrate it on the screen. So I'm able to circle things, draw up route concepts, explain to the average viewer what goes through quarterbacks' heads and where maybe he should have thrown the ball. A quarterback, take for instance, CJ Stroud, just broke him down. Like, the dude is playing unbelievable, but like he missed some throws. All right. So I'm going to be able to tell you that. And it's just a way, like, football is very, very complicated and complex. So I try to break it down to the average viewer level and say, hey, here's what happened. Here's what he should have done, or he did this well. And it's taken off. I've been pretty surprised at everything that's been going on with it right now.
Well, you did the video where you called out the Cowboys defense after what Brock Purdy did. So give the audience an idea of what exactly did Brock Purdy do and what role did the Cowboys defense play?
Yeah, that was my highest grossing video. It was like 150,000 views in like 24 hours. So there's some San Francisco 49ers faithful fans that want to see it.
No. That's Cowboy fans that want to see it too. They want to know what's wrong with their team. I would break down the Cowboys every week if I were you, Chase.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I just posted a Dak video. We can get to that later. But the way Brock was able to play on Sunday night, I mean, the thing with Brock, it's either him or the system. That's all I've heard. It's him or the system. It's him or the system. And why can't it be both, right? It's a perfect commingling of two people, Kyle Shanahan, Brock Purdy, and going at it, because he's had other quarterbacks before, right, that haven't been able to run the system as efficient as Brock. And it's not like he's just checking it down. He's going through progressions. The game plan was excellent. We always talk on offense, especially what they're doing in San Francisco. We talk about blitzing the defense. What does that mean? Shifts, motions, checks, different personnel groups, everything like that. Brock is handling it so like calm. And that's the biggest thing I've seen from him is.
So what you're saying is the Niners are the aggressor, that they're actually blitzing the defense there. And Brock is aggressive. He's not like Jimmy G. He's aggressive downfield.
Yeah, I was actually surprised at how much they're taking shots downfield. It's not these old like screens. Of course they have it, but you're only as good as the 10 other players around you. And I'm telling you right now, the San Francisco 49ers offense is the best in the league, and it's not even close. The way they're able to handle different times within the game, different looks that Dallas's defense was giving them, and just the play calling genius. Obviously, everyone knows about Kyle Shanahan, but you got CMC. And honestly, when I've broke down Brock a couple times on my show, I've been really impressed with Brandon Ayuk. Like, the dude has taken his game to a completely different level. Everyone knows about Kittle. Everyone knows about CMC, Debo. Okay. But Brandon Ayuk, I'm telling you right now, like he looks to me like a thinner, faster Mike Williams even. And I keep breaking him down. I'm just like, man, like the way he's running, like he looks 4.4 speed, 4.3 speed. He's got fresh legs. It's really impressive. And honestly, like all those weapons at the end of the day are going to end up helping Brock.
Is it fair to start looking at Sean Payton the way we do Bill Belichick, and that is Belichick without Tom Brady and Sean Payton without Drew Brees? What kind of coaches are they?
Yeah, I don't know. I just think he inherited a pretty tough situation there. Like I'm a big Sean Payton fan, but at the end of the day, like you got to win, right? And the offense just looks so like stuck in a rut. And I don't know if it's Russell, because honestly, like Russell has played well, like 3 or 4 games out of the year, and it's really been their defense, which no one was expecting. You can't tell me that, because I played in that division for like 5 or 6 years, especially the last 2 years. Their defense, especially their pass defense, has been unbelievable. And they played really well last night. You hold the Chiefs to 1 touchdown and you end up losing the game. They came back late in the game. But you look at Sean Payton and what he's done. I mean, I think eventually like he's going to end up being like, hey, like, all right, wholesale fire sale changes. Who knows what's going to happen? But I just think that he eventually will get his guys in there. And whether it's Russell Wilson in there, I don't know. I can't tell. You know, I'm not in the building, but I know a lot of those guys that are. And I just think they're trying to really find their way as an offense. And the defense isn't really helping them out very much.
But is
either.
Russ the type of quarterback Sean Payton wants?
Well, I mean, everyone's talking about it, right? Everyone's talking about, hey, is Sean Payton, he needs a drop back style quarterback. Look, Russ, in my opinion, is his best out of the pocket, right? So Russ, you have to have a really smart quarterback for that offense, because with Sean Payton's offense, I mean, I was in it for 7 years and it is very difficult. Russ is really smart. He's cerebral type quarterback. Can he make plays within the pocket on time and in rhythm? It's not really Russ's game. He's done it this year. And you look at the big splash plays, it's been on the outside of the pocket when plays break down, making plays with his legs.
Talking to Chase Daniel, and you could check out his YouTube channel, his show, the Chase Daniel Show on YouTube. You mentioned you broke down Dak Prescott. What did you see, good and bad?
Yeah, I broke it down, put it up last night, and it was a little slow. And I just looked, and it's Dallas fans are flocking to it because I was just honest. I mean, I labeled it as Dak the problem, and for my opinion, just watching the game, it's not Dak. Like you watch the San Francisco 49ers game, I think that's just an anomaly in my opinion, because the 49ers defense, all they did, and now teams might try to replace it and do the same thing. They were just playing man-to-man coverage, man. It was like, come up, press Dallas Cowboys, get home with all the receivers, get home with 4 rushers and Bosa and all those guys on the off. And Dak had no time to throw the ball. His 3 picks came late in the game. I think he only played 39 plays in that game because they were getting blown out and they ended up putting Cooper Rush in. So for the most part, I think Dak has done a really good job this season. It wasn't great tape, honestly, when I watched the 49ers team. And I don't know if that's a Mike McCarthy problem and he's getting used to still calling plays and trying to figure out the offense, or if it's Dak. But I just, at the end of the day, when you look at it from that game, it's just like, to me, I think it's going to be an anomaly.
Yeah, but it feels like we're waiting for Dak Prescott to be somebody he's not. Right? I mean, he's not going to be that upper echelon quarterback. At least it doesn't appear. After 8 years, are you really going to change? 7 years?
Yeah. I mean, look, he's it's a hard question, because you look at this league is such a game to game type league, right? Like, what have you done for me lately? You look at the past 3 or 4 years, Dak's had really good years, but they've never been able to win the big game, especially against San Francisco. Last year's knocked him out of the playoffs. And so eventually, Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy, if he's going to be the guy moving forward, they got to see something that says, hey, Dak, you're in the top 8, top 5 quarterbacks. And not only are you a game manager, you better win games with your arm when we need you to win games. And eventually it's got to come down to that. And you got to have the players around you, which they do. They've always had the players. That's never been the question with the Dallas Cowboys. The talent has always been there. You know it. It's like, hey, can you put it together for a string of games? Can you get on some streaks? Can you win big games in the playoffs? And that is not what the Dallas Cowboys have been.
The Bears know what they have in Justin Fields, right? You know what kind of quarterback he is. Has he shown you enough? Have you broken down his tape that you would say, if I have the number 1 or number 2 overall pick, I'm going to still stay with Justin Fields?
Well, you got Caleb Williams and Drake May, right? Like that. Those are the 2 that are probably.
But is Justin Fields a franchise quarterback?
I mean, the way he's played. So I break it. I watched every single one of their games because I'm so interested in like just what was going wrong. You take the first 3 games of the year, and it was a crapshoot on offense. Like they couldn't do any. It looked to me like Luke Getsy was calling plays like he had a statue back there at quarterback. I'm going to be completely honest with you. And the innovation wasn't there. They were barely moving like pre-snap motions or shift, just easy stuff. So they were just in stagnant formations. He was under center a lot. Like I watched the Chiefs game, And I was thinking, what in the world? Like, you have this guy is not an under center drop back play action passer. He's just not that guy. That's just not who he is. And he did. And then you go back and you look at the Broncos game and the Commanders game. And it's like he's thrown 8 touchdowns in those games, a completely different quarterback, a completely different offense. It's like, why did you wait so long? Because you look back last year, that's exactly what their offense was like until the New England game. And the New England game, that Luke Getz said, handcuffs are off, just run, man, just go. And then he started his tear through the league. And then he started again like that this year. And then the last 2 games, right? He's been unbelievable in the offense. The offense has changed. And that's what's really good. Like, you have to put this guy, if you want him to be your franchise quarterback, which I'm still on the fence about. I'm not sure if he can. The last 2 games sure is like it, but he needs to be in an offense like Luke Getsy was running. He needs to be in a Lamar Jackson type offense where, hey, it's RPO, it's quick game, it's screens, it's quarterback run, it's decision making. I think that's something that he continues to get better on. I've seen a really big difference in him from the first 3 weeks to the last 2 weeks. Is his processing speed has gone through the roof. It's not like where he's holding it, he's looking at one and just taking a sack, because he had the most sacks over the last 2 years when he's holding the ball 4+ seconds. Now I can't even see it. It's like 1-2 run, 1-2 run. So whatever he did or whatever change they made on offense, it's working.
Yeah, they were trying to make him into something that he's not. Also, throw on first down. Like, don't make it so it's predictable on third down. And you're right. He was back there as if he was, Peyton Manning, and he's not going to carve you up. I would treat him just like Carolina did Cam Newton. Go out and be Cam Newton. Don't try to be anything other than who you are. And that's who Justin Fields is. He's going to be that guy. He's not going to be consistent. He's going to have big play, capabilities. But, man, they got a big decision here at the end of the year, and I don't know if he could play his way back into Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's an interesting decision because it is decision time coming up, and if he continues playing this way and they can actually let's be real, other than DJ Moore, they don't have many playmakers on offense. Like, you got to surround yourself with guys. And I love the Cam Newton analogy because it's me, like everyone, like it went viral. Everyone was like, oh my gosh, he just called out the coaching. Right? Like when Justin Fields called out the coaching. But to me, I took it way different than anyone else. It was him finally saying, look, like, the coaching is fine, okay? But maybe there's a fine line, especially in quarterback rooms, of over coaching, right? And that's what I think was happening to Justin. Finally just said, hey, go out, be yourself, show your personality, do what you do. And he's starting to flourish in it. They're not holding him back. He's just starting to roll. And so we'll see. I mean, the next 10, 12 games.
Well, the only way that he can stay in Chicago is to win his way. Because if they win, then they don't get Caleb Williams or Drake May unless they trade for it. So he can prevent the Bears from getting that next quarterback. Chase, it's great to talk to you. Love to have you back on. Promote your YouTube channel, The Chase Daniel Show. And congrats on the success.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Chase Daniel,